Hello, scholars, and welcome to Everything Sociology 24. My name is Ode Agbaka Godwin, and remember, we've started a series on sociology of knowledge and technology. And today we're going to discuss on the scope of sociology of knowledge, right? Remember, we said it is a field that studies how knowledge is created, how it is shared, and how it is utilized or used in the society. The sociology of knowledge as a field, it covers all aspects of human life, including their culture, their institution, ideologies, religion, education, politics, economics, and different social institutions. It helps us to understand how knowledge shapes society and how society in turn, influences knowledge. Remember, there's a symbiotic relationship between these two key terms. The ultimate question to ask right here is, what does sociology of knowledge cover? What are the scopes of sociology of knowledge? We can't talk about sociology of knowledge without dissecting the creation, the transmission, and use of knowledge. Now, sociology of knowledge, if you've been following this particular series, we said examines how knowledge is created, how it is shared, how it is disseminated, and how it influences people's decisions and their behaviors, their action. Example to give right here that I feel is important is scientific knowledge, about, administering of vaccines has saved thousands and millions of people. But some certain form of misconception is spread through social media about vaccine itself. This actually shows that knowledge can either be used for good or evil. During the COVID-19 period or era, the pandemic itself, some persons, they actually believe that the administering of the vaccine itself is an ideology that was brought about to depopulate the world. So they were actually scared of taking the vaccines. There was a sort of like a reluctance about taking vaccine, and it was spread through the media. And when you take the vaccine, when it is administered to you, you're going to fall sick or you're going to be down. But that was all falsehood. Another scope of sociology of knowledge is it is based on types of knowledge and how knowledge changes over time. Now, knowledge is not fixed. It changes, it evolves based on scientific discoveries, based on social or cultural beliefs, based on even historical changes. Remember the previous example in which I gave that some persons, they believe that the world was actually flat, right? But today, as a result of scientific knowledge, it has proven that it is round. But some conspiracy theories, they still reject this idea. And this singular act actually shows that knowledge actually changes. But it can also be resisted. You can't tell a particular person what is knowledge to you is valid, and then theirs is actually invalid. Variety is the spice of life. Knowledge can be stored, it can be shared in different ways, either or via through books, the books in which we read. We get to see, it's like mirroring the mindset of the author and that of the persons or the society in which he or she is writing about, and oral traditions, the stories that are passed down from one generation to another. That's a form in which knowledge is being transmitted, even via schools. The four walls of a school. A school is actually a formalized institution in which knowledge is disseminated. The school actually teaches and trains you, molds you in character, not only in character, and in learning too. Via social media, even via YouTube, what I'm actually doing now, I'm educating. Via YouTube, you can also learn. Via social media, you can market your products and talk about different things in which you feel it's actually paramount to you. And then even technology. So before the internet, knowledge was primarily stored in books and libraries. I'm talking about in different climes, not in Africa, because in Africa it was via the oral tradition, oral means, But today we see Google, we see Wikipedia, we see YouTube, we see X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It actually provides an instant access to vast or an array of information just at your fingertip. However, have this in mind, not all information we see out there, we see on social media is actually accurate. Some information are actually false. Right. Some information are propaganda, especially bloggers. You go online and you pick up your phone, read up a story, and if you don't do a proper background fact check on it, you tend to believe falsehood. Right. So it actually raises concern about misinformation that's actually spread about by unscrupulous individuals. So, right, knowledge can be stored, it can be transmitted and shared via various means. We can't downplay the role of culture and different social institutions in the dissemination of knowledge. Now, culture plays a principal role in shaping what people accept and what they term as true or even false. Now, social institutions such as the school, the religious organizations, and even the government, they influence what knowledge is accepted and rejected. In some cultures, let's take for instance traditional medicine, like where I'm from, I'm a Nigerian, so I like using examples that are affiliated to my locality or my country. Now, like Agbojedi, right? We believe that it is widely trusted that it actually cures malaria or typhoid and etc. Right? While in some other cultures, some other climes and society, modern medicine is preferred. Now, both system, either the traditional, orthodox, and etc., or modern, right, are forms of knowledge that shapes people's health choices. So for some persons, they believe that, the traditional system or the traditional medicine itself, it's not, relevant. It is not to be trusted. Sociology of knowledge is also concerned with the belief system of people. That's the social psychology of the belief system. Now, people often accept knowledge without questioning it, without having the reason to question it. And then especially when it comes to religion, mass neurosis, opium of the people, when it comes to culture, when it comes to authority, and they are seen as charismatic figures, right? Now, sociology of knowledge explores why people hold certain beliefs without critical thinking. Now, in some religious communities, even in Africa here, in Nigeria, if you question a pastor or an imam or even a spiritual leader, it's seen as being disrespectful. This shows that, the belief system, right, it influences the knowledge in which people actually accept. We view our ministers, our men of God, as, godlike figures, and we tend to accord them the respect. And to feel this the more, the Bible said, touch not my anointed. Now, have you sat down to question some of this notion, some of this ideology, some of this perspective in which they feed you with? Sociology of knowledge is also concerned with diverse or different ideologies and the influence in which they have on society. Now, the political and economic ideologies, they shape knowledge and they also influence how society develops over time. And then sociology of knowledge studies how capitalism, a system of governance or ideology in which a few group of individuals are allowed to own and manage any aspect of the economy according to their ability and resources, even socialism, democracy, and authoritarianism, right? They actually shape people's mentality, they shape their perspective. Remember the example we gave prior about, North Korea. Now, North Korea is a country where freedom of expression is not for everyone, for all and sundry, right? So most times, the citizenry right there, they are not free to express themselves as compared to even, South Korea. It's actually quite free for you as a citizen, for you to express yourself, and it is quite developed as compared to North Korea. There's a form of democratic governance in South Korea as compared to the autocratic government in North Korea. Another key aspect in sociology of knowledge, the scope in sociology of knowledge, is it measures knowledge and its impact or effect on society. Now, sociologists, they ask important or key questions to understand how knowledge works in society. And those questions are quite diverse, right? So like, what is knowledge? Where does knowledge come from? Is it from man? Is it from God? Is it from the institution in the society? How does the society influence knowledge? And how does knowledge influence the society? Is it a symbiotic relationship? Why do people believe certain things? Why do they dispel others? One makes some knowledge widely acceptable and another rejected. So in ancient times, right, now this phenomenon of witchcraft, right, they fly, they are actually very nefarious. The activities, right, is nefarious. It was considered real, even in European countries, right, even in England in 15th century, witches were burnt on the stake, right, and people were punished for it, right. But today, as a result of the advent of science and the legal system in place, they no longer accept this ideology of witchcraft. But in some parts of Africa, it's still obtainable, though. We still believe in witchcraftry and all of that, and wizardry and all of that. Now, this actually shows that the society determines what is valid knowledge and also what is invalid. So as a result of science, as a result of the Industrial Revolution, as a result of growth in exploration, in discoveries, that particular ideology of viewing an individual as being a witchcraft has changed. It has changed. And there's a gradual progression in the society. So to bring this to a close, right, today we've actually learned that sociology of knowledge is a broad field, it's quite diverse, and it covers all areas of human life and endeavors. It actually helps us to understand why people believe what they believe in, and how knowledge spreads, how it is disseminated, how it is transmitted, and how it evolves or changes over time. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this particular tutorial, please, I beseech y'all, I beg y'all to like, to share, to comment, and also subscribe to Everything Sociology. This is the channel, right, for more insightful sociological content. So, see you soon.